You're listening to the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to make sure you get the latest episodes of the podcast. Be sure to like and share our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. Let's get into this cricket discussion. I chose some topics to talk about and discuss.
Oh, awesome.
And there's some good topics. So let's start off with the first one, mental health in cricket and society. It's a big issue in cricket. A lot of cricketers have come out and said, I've suffered from mental illness, had some battles with my mind. But also everyone in this current situation is going through the same thing. People think mental health is a weakness. It's not a weakness. You're not weak. You shouldn't be ashamed to have a mental illness. It's an illness. You shouldn't be ashamed to have it. And in cricket, it's a big problem. It's growing quite rapidly. But we have to keep talking about this, Skulls. We can't keep sweeping it underneath the carpet and, oh, it'll be all right. We can't do that. We've got to start the conversation, especially in men, because of that stigma. A man will not go and see a doctor for men's health. Will not say that I've got mental illness or mental health issues. So we need to break down that stigma as well.
Absolutely.
And we see more and more cricketers present and past coming out and said, I've suffered from mental health during my career. You talked to Will Bukowski on your podcast, Nicole Bolton as well, Kate Cross, they've come out. Ben Stokes just recently took a break from cricket. Cricket, Skulls, been an intense game with lots of pressure and expectations that these players have on their shoulders. Could that pressure and expectations that these players have, could that be the cause of cricketers suffering from mental illness, Skulls?
Oh, mate, absolutely. But as you just alluded to, it could be anything. It could be something that's happened in their childhood that they've suppressed for a long time that they haven't addressed, and it just pops its head up. I've got people close to me who have suffered from mental health for many years, and fortunately, it's not something I've been through myself. However, I know how challenging it is, and it is certainly, as you said, I couldn't agree with you more about. It's not something to be ashamed of. It ain't weak to speak. And it's a real thing that many, many people suffer with, and too many people do suffer in silence, and we do need to, as a collective, as a society, make it more acceptable to talk about it and make it sort of people feel safe when they do open up about it. So look, in terms of cricketers, I think cricket is such a sort of a statistic-based game that you're sort of, you can't hide anywhere. If your cricket or your scores aren't going well, it can really get people down. And something that I'm talking a lot about at the moment with my athletes is this idea of detaching your identity from your results. And it's an idea I heard with a story with Ash Barty, the world number 1 tennis player, Aussie lady. And she used to struggle with performances, and a lot of that was to do with her whole identity was tied up with being a tennis player. And if she didn't do well on the tennis court, she didn't value herself as a person, and that's a very sad and toxic mindset to be in. And she spent some time with a mindset coach, working on herself and working on her identity. She loves all these other things. She's an auntie. She loves her footy. She loves her coffee. So she's Ash Barty, and who plays tennis, not Ash Barty, the tennis player. And I think the more people that can detach their identity as a human being, and therefore their value as a human being, can detach it from their sport and from their performances, then they're less likely to get too down when things aren't going well. But if your whole value is tied up with how you go on the cricket field or any other sort of sporting field or court, well, then you're setting yourself up for failure, because we don't succeed. We fail more than we succeed, and we're going to have lots and lots of tough days and bad days. So that's something that I think I'm trying to work on with our young athletes, is to really detach themselves from that identity piece and say, like, you're Johnny, but who plays cricket, but you're also this, you like your footy, you like this. Like, there's more to you than just being a cricketer. And then, I think trying to understand and practice things like gratitude and trying to detach yourself and understand what social media is. And there's all these little things and tricks. But we do live in a world where people are comparing themselves all the time. And so the more we can try and teach people that like when you're looking at someone, it's always their highlight reel. It's not their behind the scenes. It's always their good stuff, not their bad stuff. And everybody goes through bad stuff. I know so many people. I know so many instances where I know people are suffering behind closed doors, and then they put up a post like something's amazing, and they're trying to get that love and that validation that they're secretly missing or craving. And so, yeah, I think it's a tough world we're in at times, but I think we've all got to support each other and as you say, open up and speak if we are struggling a bit.
Yeah, absolutely, Skulls. I knew someone from school, went to primary school and high school with him, and he sadly took his own life. No one knew he was suffering. And this is the thing, we got to speak out because many people are suffering. Yeah. And I look at these cricketers and I see them as people who are trying their best.
Yeah.
And just giving their best. But fans, they get frustrated because they don't do well. And, social media, that black hole, which is very dark, does play on players' minds. And you see a lot of players suffering from mental health. So I think cricket fans in general, we just need to remember that they're athletes, but they're trying their best. It's okay to fail. You're not going to succeed every time. The game of cricket is hard. It's not easy. Skulls,
Absolutely.
You've been there, you've done it. Ricky Ponting behind me and Shane Warne have done it. It's not easy.
Nah.
We just lose sight of that, I think. And it's very important to realize that they're human beings and we should see them as humans. And that's why we should, when we do something on social media, think about what the implications are.
Yeah. And I try and say to my athletes, you don't want to live on the roller coaster where you're really high when you're going well and really low when you're not. And that all comes back to that identity and valuing yourself as a person, really.
Absolutely. And I think we need more education on mental health as well. Cricket clubs around Australia as well. Cricket Australia doing that with the national teams as well. But I think we should do that at club cricket as well and start the conversation.
Yeah.
And there are various organizations that can help. We'll leave a link to that in the description below. Some very useful links: Beyond Blue, Headspace, Lifeline, the Resilience Project by Hugh Van Cuylenburg. I recommend reading his book. It's a very good book about resilience. Also, if you live in the UK, Samaritan's a good source there. Also, cricketing circles. Tom, you spoke to Mark from Opening Up. You did a video on that on your podcast. I'll leave a link to that in the description below as well. It's a great interview that Tom did. So it's very important. What we're trying to say is to talk to someone, your family, friends, your mate. Just talk to someone. And we need to all support each other in these tough times. Mental health is such an important topic to talk about. Please seek help if you are struggling with your mental health and well-being. We all need to look after ourselves and support those who are doing it tough. Please check out the links in the description below to help you with your mental health and well-being. Make sure to check out Cricket Mentoring on their website and on their social media platforms. If you want some help to improve your game, then Tom's the right man to help you. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get the latest episodes of the podcast, and like and share our Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Until next time, keep safe and bye for now.